Welcome to Smalltalk episode 29. It's crazy to think we're that far in. That's what she said. This is the Smalltalk retrospective rewatch podcast. I'm one third of your co host. My name is Ryan Cam. Jacob Collins from 3D Movie Cinema is making an obscene gesture, otherwise known as a day ending in Y. Jacob, how are you?
So I'm doing pretty well actually. Just looking at my Tom Welling Smallville thing. It's a DVD case cover, whatever. I ordered it off of eBay for like a couple of weeks ago, and it's basically like Tom Welling when they did the Smallville complete box set years ago when the complete series came on DVD. They had this, and it has a newspaper inside it from the Daily Planet, and it has like the main menu, like the guide, disc menu guide,
Yeah.
and then, of course, it has this picture of Tomlin, which ironically wears his outfit tonight in this episode. And so I was just thought that'd be symbolic to pull it out and be like, yeah, that's what she said. And so basically, I knew I'd get a laugh from you, Matt. But I just thought it'd be great to show that because I said it's really cool. I will say though, these episodes are terrible.
Well, I
I
wouldn't
hate
go
these
quite
episodes.
that far, but yeah, these were probably three of the more mid episodes that we've covered. It usually a trend that I've noticed is that there's one at least really good one, and then two others are like just kind of there, or two really good ones and ones that's just kind of there. All three were just kind of there. There's interesting things going on, and I like the ending on one, but just overall, just kind of
Before you tell Matt, which one was your favorite?
The third one, Sacred.
I told you, Brian. I knew. I told you. Me and Ryan were going. Ryan, guess what his favorite one was? Guess which one?
I'm guessing the first one.
Yep.
Yes.
And my logic behind this is the ending. When Clark gives up the football stuff and he's in the stadium and it's soundtrack to Why Did This Happen to Me by Simple Plan, it hit me where I live. So like I'll die on the hill if it comes to that.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a hill you're gonna have to die on. Ryan, I'm saying you're very generous tonight. You just gave that episode a whole bag of thank yous.
Yeah, I did. But speaking of that, Matt Wyatt, he's always a gift on this show. I'm high key jealous of you though, because as of this recording, you've seen Dune Part 2 before all of us, and thankfully he hasn't said anything about it yet, because I would be looking for another co-host if that were the case. No, yeah, that'd definitely be the case. But Matt,
He's like, no, definitely. No, you know what? No, fuck him. That would definitely be the case.
It's Dune 2.
Getting into spoilers. Come on.
It's
just
Dune
puts
2.
in the comment section all the stuff that happens tonight. He's like, oh, you fucking dick.
He's like, you fucking dick. Fuck you.
Be like an angriest. It was the last episode of Smalltalk ever. Because he'd be like,
that would get a lot of crazy fucking comments. Me spoiling Doom Part 2.
But
to shit talk real quick.
Quite seriously though, Matt, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. I mean, before going in this recording, like you mentioned, yeah, I did want to go see Doom Part 2 on its early opening in IMAX, and I'm excited to record that review later after this.
Well, speaking of current events, I wanted to touch on this with you guys because it does involve Superman, and this podcast is essentially about the origins of Superman, so there is a bit of a connection there. James Gunn dropped the first image of his Superman movie, just called Superman, instead of just Superman Legacy. It's a focus up on the logo that David Cornsweet is going to rock as the Man of Steel. And it is important to note that this is just a still image, but I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I loved how the logo looks. It's important to know we haven't gotten any footage or anything of the sort, but as of right now, is like, I think James Gunn might get to this. But Jacob, what did you think?
Well, to be fair, I'm not really a big fan of Superman, so I really don't know how I feel, because isn't that the guy that puts the magic ring on and goes and fights? And didn't Shaq play him at one point in a movie with a metal?
I think it's owned by the same company, but I think
you're wrong. Yeah, so Ryan's with something like Steve or Steel or.
No, I think it was just called Steel.
Yeah, that movie. I never liked Superman. See, because seriously, like Shaq. I've watched Shaq when he played the Superman first, and I wasn't really a big fan of his in there. So I really don't know about Superman. I'm not really a big fan of Superman in a way. I've always been a more fan of Batman or Spider-Man. So I'm just, it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to. I guess I'll see what James Gunn does. I just hope there's a third act where Superman has to kill an alien. He flies up his ass and kills him.
Superman is secretly a remake of Fantastic Voyage. But Matt, what did you think?
Jake, you're full of shit. you were like, are we really gonna sit there for 5 minutes?
I was rolling.
Like,
I was rolling with him, and you just like shut that down. Like cut.
Just like really
get it away.
Yes, I was joking. I mean, I'm a huge Superman fan, but I was just like Doc. It's actually Doc Savage, to be fair.
This is Doc Savage.
I wanted to, but I wanted to commit to the bit. I was like, I really want to tell Ryan right now, like, no, it's just the Kingdom Come logo. It's the Kingdom Come. And I'm like, I gotta pretend like I don't know my shit. So I was like, but no, actually, the James Gunn logo is actually inspired by Kingdom Come Superman.
That's the Alex Ross one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. Because he's totally inspired by the Alex Ross comic artwork.
It's not even really a S. It's more of a Z looking S. Only the only thing I don't like is, I wish they made it black and red, because that is traditionally Alex Ross. That is the Kingdom Come logo. But I understand James Gunn's probably like, look, I want to start him out before he becomes the Kingdom Come Superman.
Oh yeah, I think that's what he was leaning towards
building up to
like, because this is still the earlier Superman that we know in his early 30s, where he's still Superman for I believe like a year or two, and I think that's what they're approaching for. But maybe sometime in the future they will change it from yellow to black. Yeah. They could do that.
I'm almost willing to bet that that's what James Gunn's building towards, doing a Kingdom Come film.
I think that's what he's doing. That's what I thought about that too. When I first saw that logo, that Isabel Merced, who was playing Hawkgirl, they were doing a table reads and they teased that the name card, there was the S logo, and that was already teased a while back. And I was like, yeah, this is literally a Kingdom Come S logo.
I do like that. The fact that you'll see if you look, I look deep on that suit. I look deep and hard. And so when I look there, instead you see usually the symbols have like a red outline around it. It's like a red shaped diamond.
It looks like a yellow shape. It looks like the yellow from the outside. It's yellow.
If you look at the first comic of Superman, Action Comics, I think.
Oh yeah, the Action Comics, yeah.
Yeah, it's all yellow with a red S in there. So basically, James Gunn made it. There is no red outline at the end. It's just all yellow right here. It goes out to yellow, and then the red is just encaved into the S in the symbol.
There was like a snow in that still photo. Like, is this coming from the Fortress of Solitude?
I would imagine he told David Corn, "Hey, stay still," because they're shooting today. He's like,
"Oh yeah, they are."
Which he already said. He already said in a tweet. Someone asked him back on Threads months ago, "When will we get official photos soon?" He said, "No," because he says there will not be an official photo of David Cornsweet in the costume until filming is almost completed or done. So, I mean, we're probably not going to get it until Comic-Con, and that would be my best
until
guess.
Some assholes leak the photos online.
Well, I mean,
come on, the set photos is inevitable. They're going to leak that shit online.
Knowing James Gunn, he probably is going to shoot inside. So we're probably not going to get that. Like with Suicide Squad and Guardians, he shot inside a studio in the volume and stuff like that. So.
Well, no, for Suicide Squad, no, he shot in real locations.
But but he didn't. We never got to see what Idris Elba's costume was or Polka Dot Man. We only got to see the B team, Pete Davidson and their team. We never got to see what Margot Robbie looked like as Harley Quinn, her with her costume. We never got to see any of that until 2020, whenever they did the first teaser. That's when we got to see it, because James Gunn shot inside of the studio. So that's why I was thinking he's probably going to do the same approach, where we'll probably see some outside location. I'm sure we'll probably see Nathan Fillion in his Green Lantern costume or something. We might see Isabel as Hawkgirl, but I'm sure we won't see Cornsweet as Superman until Comic-Con or whenever James Gunn's we got a first trailer.
I think they just ditched Comic-Con. DC and Marvel has not been doing Comic-Con lately, so I don't think they're going to approach that.
Yeah,
not to mention that this movie's coming out in 2025, so they have a little bit of room to breathe on this.
How do they have room to breathe, Ryan? Next year is 2025.
No, it's Oh. Today on Ryan Learns How Time Works.
I was like, what? They got this movie comes out in 11 months.
Oh wow. So yeah, it's less than a year. So that's certainly something. But
is it 11 months?
But I, unlike a
14.
certain subsection of the fandom who shall remain nameless, have faith in James Gunn because 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies
And a Suicide Squad movie.
and the
Suicide Squad,
yeah.
And
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. I mean, he literally, I will say, is I like his DC stuff more than his Marvel stuff. Like, I thought, I've only seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 once. It's not because it's just depressing as fuck to watch. But, it's just, but I like Guardians 1 and 2. But I think 3 is really depressing, so I don't watch that. I've only watched it once.
Oh,
Just
dude,
like,
I can.
cry.
It's
So,
the best for me. It's the best out of the 3.
yeah, it's a great film, but I just like it's depressing as fuck. So it's like I'm not gonna watch it anytime soon. But I love Peacemaker. I've seen Peacemaker season 1 like 4 or 5 times. I love the Suicide Squad. I've seen it a million times.
Oh,
I mean, I'm a big James Gunn fan. I have 100% faith. I know a lot of people are worried because like he likes to do comedy, so they're afraid that he's gonna make it very comedic, like Superman.
He thinks he's gonna. They think it's gonna be like more of a yuck goofy comedy, like which I don't agree. I don't think that's what he's gonna do. Pretty sure that he will add some humor, but I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, it's a goofy laugh out loud moments. Like no, there's gonna be some humor here and there, but he's still gonna add a little bit more of the levity, more of the joyful Superman drama. If
He's
that
already
makes
said
any
that
sense.
he's not going to make it a comedy. He knows where to stop and draw the line out. Like Suicide Squad, he based off the John Ostrander run, which was more comedic.
Mhm.
And so like he said, Peacemaker is a funny character. But he said like I'm writing like he said, Creature Commandos. If you want your Suicide Squad, basically like laughter and stuff, you're going to get that in Creature Commandos. But he said, as for Superman, it's going to be more serious in tone with Dick Donner's Superman, rather than like it's not going to be as depressing as like Zack Snyder's one, where he's like going to destroy 50 people in like one building. But
because the Guardians films can be funny. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, the whole "Don't call me a thesaurus" line gets me every single time. But they can also be very dark. Like the whole realization that Ego is a massive monster and that Quill is just a sacrificial lamb is like that still hits me right there. So it is possible to be funny in one instance and dark in another instance and find the balance between the two.
Or when Yondu dies in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was emotional. And
Exactly.
for the Rocket story in Guardians Volume 3, that was a lot more emotional, full of tearjerker.
Yeah, Yondu's death is so good. I also think scene always gets me in Guardians is the first one is when there's 2 jokes. One is in part 2 and one in part 1. Part 1, the joke that gets me at the end where he goes when Ronan the Accuser, he goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, Star-Lord goes, "You said it yourself, bitch. We're the Guardians of the Galaxy." I always laugh at that line. This just comes out. He says that, and then I laugh in the second one where Drax says when he's asking, he says, he says, "Where's your penis?" And I'm like, dude, come on. He goes, he has to have penis, and he says, my dad told the story about how I was. He's like, relax, I have a penis. It works quite well. It's just randomly Drax being Drax. There's a line in 3 that's still stuck in my head where like Star-Lord's telling the what's his name? What's the bad guy's name in the movie?
Ego, the living planet.
No, the bad guy in the 3rd film.
The Prime, not the Primer Lineage.
Prime Evolution?
Him.
The evolution.
High Evolution.
The High Evolution. Yeah, the High Evolution.
Yeah. Oh, and he's like trying to create the perfect world, and then Star-Lord goes, "Yeah, well, is that perfect world where there's a dinosaur selling crack to a giraffe in the back alleyway?" And then he looks and they go, "I know how that sounds, but that's what happened."
Also, the one in Volume 2 where Mantis like lands on her face or like falls or something, I can't remember, and Drax is like, "Look out!"
Yeah, some fucking debris fell on her face.
Look out, Bull. But we do have to get to Smallville at some point. So let's tie it off here. But one thing that I will note is that y'all need to check out Slither if you haven't. James Gunn wrote and directed that one. It is a lot of fun.
That's a great film. By the way, if you really want to see a superhero movie James Gunn directed, watch Super.
Oh yeah. I've heard it has a reputation.
It's very offensive, especially if you're a person of faith like me. It's a very offensive faith-based movie, and very, very, very much so. Like it really is like a fucked up version of a religious movie, just going completely apeshit. Like it's like Kick-Ass, but with lots of Jesus metaphors.
All right. Well, on that note, excited for James Gunn's Superman. Y'all need to watch Slither. Like that's your homework.
Oh yeah, and today's the day is Superman's birthday.
Well, not when this airs, it won't be.
True.
Well,
Yeah.
as we are recording this, it is Superman's birthday, so happy birthday indeed.
Happy birthday, Superman.
Well, with that out of the way, let us dive in head first. This is season 4, episode 13, called Recruit.
On the WB Wednesday, fresh new Smallville.
College football is big business.
Having it all means doing anything to win.
What's he trying to cover up?
Tom Welling, the OC's Chris Carmack.
Who the hell are you? Where is he?
Fresh new Smallville on the WB Wednesday.
Clark is wooed by the offer of a football scholarship from Metropolis University, but faces a dilemma over whether he should accept, knowing he has such an advantage on the field because of his superpowers. Meanwhile, Lois is implicated in the death of a member of the Metropolis University football team, which leads Clark to investigate to clear Lois, in which they suspect that the team's idol, named Jeff Johns, we'll get to that in a minute, may hold a clue. Elsewhere, Lex tries to persuade Lana that Jason's mother had ordered him to try and break her and Jason up for mysterious reasons. So I am kind of surprised that the comic book writer / producer Jeff Johns didn't sue somebody to be like, hey, you're using my name as a villain in your TV show.
He's a producer on the show.
That makes no sense. Did he greenlight this? He had to.
He probably did. He probably wrote
did.
the damn episode. He
It's
does write episodes later on the show.
I was editing something when I was watching this episode, and I was like, I heard Jeff Johns. I'm like, that can't be right. And so I rewound it a bit, and then I listened to it again. It's like, it's Jeff Johns, and looking at here on IMDb, it is spelled GEOFJOHNS. So,
I mean, if you look at Daredevil, the Ben Affleck movie, one of the guys' name in there was Joe Quesada, which is a writer, literally a writer. I'm just like, really, literally, just referencing why don't you call one of them Stan Lee?
I mean, at least change up his name to JEFF Johns. Don't spell it exactly the same.
People still gave Joel Schumacher shit whenever he named one of the crazy doctors at the end of Batman Forever, Dr. Burton. And he even had hair like Tim Burton too. And I'm like, yeah, you can tell that's a homage right there.
Was that Batman Forever? I could have sworn that was
Batman Forever.
I thought it was Batman and Robin.
No, because at the end it was Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Oh yeah,
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. Oh yeah. The doctor at the end of the asylum. I remember now. Now I know what you're talking about.
It was actually had a bigger role in the original cut of the movie because he was.
Oh yeah, it was in the alternate opening of the
Schumacher
film.
cut. Yeah.
Yeah, the Schumacher cut.
Oh dear God, there's a Schumacher cut? Ugh.
No, yeah, it's a completely different movie. It's even darker, and it was actually almost like it was to match the Tim Burton film. But then what happened was the studio's like, we got to sell Happy Meals. You got to recut this fucking movie. We can't.
They want this to be. They wanted the aim towards for more younger audience and not for more for adults, because the first two movies with Tim Burton were more for adults. They didn't feel like a kids movie.
I guess the flipper trick jokes and there's the pussy I'm looking for references just weren't getting it done. Rah, 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 rah.
Mommy, what's pussy? You're like, we're going to go watch Terminator 2, Timmy. Literally, I saw a talk show in 92 that said, they had a little kid and they were talking about that, it was like an Oprah type talk show. And this little kid's like, Mommy, Batman Returns was so scary that my mom took me to see Terminator 2 instead. Which I'm like, that movie's fucking rated R.
That movie's fucking rated R, and parts of the movie in T2 was more terrifying compared to fucking Batman.
I mean, the T-1000 literally stabs a man in the mouth. Literally.
There's a lot of shit going on in that film. There was a fucking nightmare sequence with Sarah Connor. That's even more terrifying. You want to fucking get weird? There's a fucking nuclear holocaust nightmare sequence. Are you kidding me?
But but you know what? I will say though, the Penguin trying to murder children, he is literally basing his plot off the Ten Commandments, where he's like, I'm going to kill the firstborn sons of Gotham, and I'm like, well, damn, he must have been a really big Bible reader, because he's like, I'm going to do this.
Biblical. He did get a little biblical in that movie.
He literally does that. I'm just like watching, going, Man, he's been paying.
Like I'm gonna kill the first unborn child.
People can talk shit about all they want.
I mean, I
Batman
enjoyed the
Returns.
sequel, but it was a little bit more of a Tim Burton-ish than a Batman film from the first one,
Matt, shame on you.
which I enjoyed. I still enjoyed.
But I will say, with Smallville, I did not enjoy this episode. And I'm gonna tell you now, the bad guy in this fucking episode looks like a non-union, legally distinct fucking ripoff of Casper Van Dine.
That is very true, yes.
Which is saying something because Casper Van Dine also looks like a non-union distinct actor. Like, this guy looks like the actor you'd choose when you don't have anybody else. Everyone says fucking no to you. You're just like, well, fuck Casper Van Dine, I guess. Come on, Casper.
What do you need for your direct-to-video action movie? Call
Casper.
The only peak movie that he's been in was Starship Troopers and went nowhere.
After you get done filling up my soda, can you come out around from the counter and can we go shoot this movie and then go back to waiting tables? Okay, all right, Casper, come on, let's go.
All right, Mr. Van Dyne, Mr. Van Dyne, Gina Carano's booked. You want it?
I mean, just like literally Casper Van Dine. Have you seen him in anything good in your life? I've like never seen him in anything.
The only thing good
he's
he's been in was Starship Troopers. That was just
Starship Troopers was okay, but like even
I went back and watched that film again.
They should have had somebody else, like Jake Busey. Gary Busey's son was better in that movie than Casper Van Dine. Jake Busey.
I'm not saying his fucking acting performance is like Oscar worthy.
Neil Patrick Harris is in that movie.
And he's great. Neil Patrick Harris is great.
He's fantastic.
But they should have gave Neil the role, and they should have made him the best friend, because there's no way I'd believe this dude's an actor. He's just like, hi, Dad, I am going to do this. And I'm just like, this dude reminded me of Casper Van Dine, which I'm like, you should never want anyone to remind you of Casper Van Dine. Just like, I look like Casper Van Dine.
But the episode opens, and I think this is going to become a running theme on this show, is like me looking at this episode and being like, oh, that's what they rented from Blockbuster that week, because this is very clearly an opening straight out of like Raiders of the Lost Ark. The scene in the lodge in Nepal where Marion is drinking the Sherpa under the table, like.
But you know what? Also, Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle, also ripped off that freaking scene in Raiders where, like, Drew Barrymore's drinking and then the guy falls over. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking, I put that in my notes. This scene reminds me of the Indiana Jones scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark, because she's sitting there drinking, and then, of course, I'm like, yep, he's going to get drunk and she's going to win. And I'm just thinking, the funniest part of the story to me was Lois was literally in bed sleeping, and then they were partying too hard. So Lois is like, I challenge you to a drinking. If I win, you turn the fucking music down. But if I lose, then you can keep partying as long as you want. So, I was like, that's what made me laugh about the whole freaking story.
Yeah, and then literally like 8 hours later, she like is roused awake and like, Lois Lane, you're under arrest. I'm like, wow, that's a hell of a thing to wake up to.
You paralyzed them. You're under arrest.
Apparently, that nutsack kick was really, really hard.
I mean, I didn't know that drop kick in the chest would cause a paralyzation. Made him paralyzed and shit.
I will say, there's one thing I thought was really good. Chloe was trying to shame Clark for playing football, even though Clark doesn't know why he's trying to shame her. The fact is, she's like, you should not play football, like because you have the advantage. Which Clark, I'm like, I wish Chloe would know, like she would tell Clark, I know your powers, because literally it would make more sense that scene, because it'd make it more like, look, you're cheating, okay? Because you're not really, you have powers.
You don't have you have the unfair advantage with any other like ordinary players out in the field.
It'd be like if LeBron James played for the WNBA. He would win like 1,000 goals in an hour, because literally nobody could stop him in the WNBA. And I'm just like, that's how I saw it. Like, okay, it'd be like LeBron James playing the WNBA. He would win every freaking game. He would be like literally he would have every trophy. And I think that's kind of disadvantage. You should let, Clark should literally, at least, I thought the kryptonite bracelet thing would be a good idea of him putting a kryptonite bracelet on. But then again, he's going to suck ass, because when he's sitting there passing out every game.
Yeah. He'll be passing out every second. He wouldn't last long out in the field.
Also, there's another thing I liked about this was, I did also like Lex and Jason's scene, where Lex is basically like trying to basically like he knows like something about Jason and his mother, and he's just basically trying to like see if Jason's gonna be upfront about it. Because he's like, I already know everything. I already got pictures of you and your mom were in town when you said you weren't. You know, he's just fishing for information out of Jason, even though he already knows. I like that. I like the whole thing. And like Jason, it feels like, and then Jason's like, you just want Lana. You just can't stand that I'm with Lana. And I'm just thinking, I feel like the same shit, the same fucking dialogue was just done with Clark and Lex. Now it's with Jason and Lex. Like all three of these guys, I feel like Lana's just being pulled around, you know, and Lex, it's like, I always they just had a poster of Lana being
pulled.
Dude,
she's being jerked around. She's jerked around by these guys.
Clark's got the legs pulling, and Jason's got an arm, Lex got an arm, and there's like, she's mine.
Yeah, they're also with Jason and Lex, they're both like playing each other. If you really think that's literally what's happening right now.
Honestly, I don't know why they're not best friends. I mean, they both have parents that are evil, and they're like literally, you know, I mean, they both have attracted to an underage girl. I mean, they literally, I'm just saying, they could literally go. Only difference is one is bald, the other one has hair. I'm just saying they have the same hobbies and interests. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they do. They might as well be best friends at this point.
Just go down, both of them in like an El Camino, driving down to school, trying to pick up hotties. They're like, hey, all right. Like that scene in Dazed and Confused. Like, imagine like Lexus Matthew McConaughey.
I consider more. I consider more Jensen be more the McConaughey figure.
What, Jetson?
Yeah, Jensen.
Oh, I would just say, Joe. Yeah, Jansen pulls up and he's like, imagine David, not Ryan. Ryan. I said David. Was it Ryan? Put in the scene from Dazed and Confused where Matthew McConaughey pulled goes, all right, but put Jensen Ackles in there instead, and then Lex as a passenger in the sidecar.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Which I will say, there is some in like the Sacred episode of romance, but I will say I do like that, you know, it feels like this is literally Lex's opposite of him, where it's like, look, you have a mother that's evil and treats you like shit, that you basically love, but you wish that she would love you back. Versus I have that with the father who basically doesn't love me back and tries to. And so I feel like these two have the same dynamic. Only difference is they hate each other because they have both lust for the same girl.
But also they're after their own agendas because of the stones. They have their own agendas. They want to use each other for their advantage.
Well, that relationship between the two will deepen, especially in the last episode we're talking about, Sacred, because they pretty much become a tag team in that episode. Jacob wrote in his notes, no one saw the blind jock go into the hospital room. Apparently there were no cameras. Yeah, that just so weird.
Oh, yeah. That was weird when he's going to that hospital visiting his friend, Jeff. Is that his name, Jeff?
My name is Jeff.
We literally had a whole fucking
No. I mean, yeah.
We had a whole conversation.
Dude. I know. Fucking, it went over my head.
John, just my God. You can say what I said. Discount Casper Van Dyne.
Discount Casper Van Dyne. Yeah, he went to go visit his little best friend, and now he's literally killing him, smothering him in his sleep, and there's no cameras for some reason. How he did not get caught.
I was just realizing, I'm sorry, this I'll talk about. I just realized that Casper Van Dyne, was like, did he ever have long hair in any movies? And I'm like, oh my God, he was in Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. He literally, it's like he was Bra Bones. And I'm just like, man, they must have had no other actor that could do that was available. So they're like, Casper? Tim Burton's like, I cast Casper Van Dyne because he was cheap and he was the only one that was in London. I was like, but yeah, anyway. But yeah, I just realized that, this discount Casper Van Dyne literally was basically in the hospital. And literally he kills the guy and then walks right out and runs into Clark and them. And they couldn't look at the camera. Chloe detects them like, there he is in the camera and going.
Like, you were just there. It's like, oh yeah, he passed away. Oh.
With the crocodile tears of Coop died. I'm just like, yeah, like you're just.
But now we know that but we now know that Jeff has fucking meteor enhancements, that he's had like given them that had more advantage to be out in the football field, and he's addicted to paralyze them for a brief moment, and that's how he's able to win every game.
Also, what's really stupid is also he kidnaps Lois Lane, confronts him because he's like selling his piss. The Asian guy is giving him his piss.
Yeah, selling him his clean urine.
And Lois confronts him, and then he abducts Lois in public. He abducts her, just does this, and throws her in the car in the middle of daylight.
Yeah, in fucking broad daylight. You kidnap Lois in broad daylight.
I mean, literally, someone's like, "Hey," no one. Everybody's just walking like, I
Only
didn't see
only the
nothing.
most
Like,
popular
apparently nobody
player
cared.
on the team.
Jeff's. It'd be like in Michigan or whatever. What's it, New England? If they saw Tom Brady kidnap somebody, like, man, I really should report Tom Brady, but I really want him to win on Sunday, so never mind. I'll just
Well, they
walk
couldn't.
away.
Well, they didn't have smartphones. Then that would have been different. They because if it were today, I don't think you would have gotten away with it if he were to did that now.
They'd be live streaming that.
Yeah,
This is going on Twitter. This is going on Instagram Live. Say hi, Jeff.
this is going on TikTok Live. Hi.
I just imagine the stupidest also is then Chloe comes out, sees the car speed away, and then she sees Shades on the ground. And goes, that car kidnapped Chloe. But just
Like, how do you know?
how do you know that's his car?
How the hell do you know he drives that car? How do you know that's even his?
The Bella twins used to have twin magic, but I've never heard of cousin magic. Like, what are we doing here, people?
I'm just. It makes no sense. It just made no sense how she figured Clark would make it. I would believe Clark doing that
Because he was in the car because he was giving him a tour in the Metropolis University in the football field. So yeah, of course he knows, he recognized that car, but he wasn't there with Chloe.
But yeah, there's a scene in the episode where Clark goes to the room to get jiggy with it with these.
Oh
two
yeah, I was about to bring that part up when he was about to get jiggy with the college.
And then Lois is hiding in the closet. He sees her, he slams the fucking door.
How did she sneak? And first of all, how did Lois sneak into the sorority house?
Doesn't make no fucking sense either.
How the fuck did she manage to get in without being caught?
And then he slams the door, and the girls must be stupid because he slams the door. Ryan, if I open the door and I'm like shut the door and go, hey, can you go and get me something? Wouldn't you suspect that there's someone in there? There's something in there you don't want me to find. I want you to.
Dude, I would be so suspicious. Like, yeah, you look a little bit guilty.
Like, I just can't believe. I just cannot believe that they were like, okay, yeah, I might be something hungry. So I'm like, first off,
okay, Clark. Okay, Clark.
I was like, just like wondering. Part of me was wondering. I was like, I wonder what they're gonna give him to eat. Like, I mean, most likely it's gonna be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, they had a cake. Well, they had a cake the moment he walked into the door.
It's probably a peanut butter and jelly. I don't think if they literally look, Matt, they're hot girls, okay? I'm not saying all hot girls are like this, but they literally just believe that he wants something to eat, okay, and that he's not trying to hide something in that door. They're probably getting him a peanut butter and jelly and forgot they got in the cake. I'm just saying, Matt. I'm just saying, odds of him getting that cake is really slim if they believe that story about him being hungry. I'm just saying they're not the most brightest girls in the room. I mean, they're going to sleep with him. They just met him 5 seconds ago, and they're going to go sleep with him.
I recognize one of the actress. She
was in Sex Drive and Silicon Valley.
And she was in Final Destination 3.
Oh yeah, she was not Mary Elizabeth Winston's
sister. Yeah.
Yeah, she's also. Have you ever seen Silicon Valley? She's really good.
Oh yeah, I've seen it, but I have not finished the whole series. But yeah, I recognize her in that show.
There's a really funny movie called Sex Drive.
Oh, I love Sex Drive. One of the funniest.
She's so good in that movie.
Oh, she is so damn.
This was before she was famous, so like.
Yeah, she wasn't famous. I mean, she's only been in some like typecast teen roles here and there, but that's about it.
I think because she's Canadian.
That might be true.
Yeah, she's a Canadian actress. They're like,
oh yeah, she is a Canadian actress.
Yeah, I mean, she was in Final Destination 3. Half the 89% of the cast in Final Destination 3 are Canadian.
Pretty much. No, you're right about that. You're totally right.
If you've been in Smallville, you most likely have been in Final Destination.
You recognize these actors that have been in Smallville before.
I'm pretty sure, haven't we covered this by now? But if you've been, look, we're going to say this officially. If you've been in Final Destination, odds are you've been in Smallville as well. Because
there were some of the cast members in Final Destination 3 that was in another horror slasher movie, which is called Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
That's true, too. I will say also, the bad guy, okay? I also like Clark saving Lois when he drowns Lois. I like that. I thought that was pretty good, too. Like, when he just goes and he throws the guy, basically, and then he's like, he goes and picks Lois up and saves her. And
well, he didn't really throw him. He just confronted him and tell him like.
I thought he threw him. I thought he picked him up and did this and threw him and then went and.
Oh no! He just fucking shoved him near his car, and then when he was confronting him, then telling him that he was so addicted that he couldn't stop using his powers every football game when he went to Metropolis, because that became a different like ball game altogether. Okay. Because you have a bunch of people looking after you, and you have to be the best. Like a lot. You have to like be their king, be their fucking champion.
Kind of piggybacking off of what Matt was just talking about. I think that's why I'm more lenient on this episode than the two of you, because Jeff Johns, in a weird roundabout way, in this episode, I know how it sounds, but trust me, I'm going somewhere
No,
with
I
this.
thought the same thing too. I know. I thought the same.
The villain in the episode is kind of like, in a bizarro way, what Clark might end up as if Clark had ended up any different than how he ended up now. And
I
Clark
can
sees
see
that.
that. I can see that.
He
Yeah.
understands that and is like, I'm good at this. I love this, but I understand that I have a responsibility. So I am going to step aside and put this chapter of my life, like, I'm going to close the chapter.
Like close the chapter of being a football player, because once he goes off in the real world, he's going to have everyone looking over his shoulder 24/7, and they're going to look under his microscope, because this is not going to be like Smallville High, but what Jonathan brought up earlier in the episode.
Exactly. And I just like I said, this episode's not great. It definitely
It's
has,
not perfect. It's a flawed episode. It is a flawed episode.
It's like the dollar menu at Arby's.
so I guess that's why this episode is a little bit more over with me, because I see that through line and I'm like, I like that. I wish it were in a better episode, but it's like it's a rough diamond, I guess.
I do think
I hope that Clark turned that Jeff in, because I can't imagine him getting away with it, especially murder. He murdered his best friend because he was gonna out him to everyone.
But like the Lex stuff I thought was really well done. Like for instance, when Lana confronts Lex and everything, and which I will say, haven't you noticed she treats Clark like shit? But yet Lex, she treats him like shit, but then she changed her tune with Lex, like, well, I know you were just looking out for me and everything. I'm like, what?
I know.
Really ruined your relationship, and yet you got this man fired, and yet you're basically being friendly. Like, well, Lex, it's not his fault. I mean, I'm like,
it forgave Clark, like apologized to Clark, saying like, I'm sorry that I called you out like that, and I made you believe that you're the one that ratted us out, and I know you would never do anything
but
like
she
that.
treats Clark like she's always an asshole to Clark over Lex any day of the week.
Oh no, she was pissed at Lex too when she found out that Lex was the one that got Jason fired.
She was easier to forgive him than she was with Lana.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's a fair point. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're right about that one.
I do feel like though, I do like that Lex did tell narc on him again. Basically, it's like Lex did the same exact thing he did 2 episodes ago by saying, "Hey, yeah, your boyfriend, yeah, you know how I tried to break you up. Well, now he's actually. What if I told you that he lied to you? And here's some pictures that I had when I had
yeah, because I was worried that because I know I've watched this episode many times, but I was afraid that it might not be in this episode. Yeah, when he revealed of who Jason really is, that meeting you in Paris was not a coincidence. That this was all set up. It was all arranged.
Yeah, it's like it's like Jason. Yeah,
asking her like, how well do you really know Jason? You only known him from several months of dating him.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Lana should have been written off.
Or written better.
I just think, honestly, they just need to have
either or. I don't care.
I agree.
Honestly,
I do agree.
They just have an orgy with Lana, so that way they would just get this sexual tension out between the 3 of them.
But also, they wanted to have that fucking witchcraft storyline for Lana. They wanted her to give her a bigger purpose to the season.
I'm surprised because this season's all about one word. Play the Michael Scott clip. But I'm surprised they had not put that scene in there, though. I'm surprised they didn't have Lana have a steamy dream between she's making out with Jason, and then it switches to Clark, and then Lex, and then just like it became, and then she's like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if I was showing, I'd be like, well, I could see, but yeah, never mind, I could see why, because they'd be like, well, she's still in high school, so that'd be fucking sick, and because I mean, even if she's an adult, it'd be weird.
If they would not they would not sleep together. I think if it were real life, they would have done it a long time ago. But it's a show. We got suspend our disbelief with that shit.
I mean, they're like, yeah, but I just imagine there's so much tension. Like I just remember there's so much tension between the 3 of them to where it's like it's not even funny anymore. It's just more of like, just fuck them already, so that way we can move on.
It seems like Jason would. It seems because Jason would definitely do it.
It feels like now she's wanting to fuck all 3 of them. It doesn't feel like she wants to fuck Jason. It's like she wants Clark, Jason, and Lex, all 3 of them. And so it feels like Lana. I'm not trying to say she's a whore, but I'm just saying it feels like she wants more than.
She's kind of a tease, a little bit of a tease.
She's leading all 3 of them on.
like there's going to be a scene like in the later episodes. It's like in Bruce Almighty where they're about to like do it, and he's just become God, and he just like does this, and all his clothes come off.
Yeah, yeah, that scene. Yeah, that's the one.
I'm just saying, like she's leading all three of them on. Okay, like she's
I know.
like, goes to
I
Lex
don't like
and,
how
Lex,
she's just letting them
Lex,
let them
Lex,
on.
it's okay, Lex, and then she go, it's okay, Clark, and she, it's okay, Jay. I'm like, I'm not saying again. I'm not saying she's a whore. I'm just saying she's leading them fucking on. Okay.
Yeah, she's a tease.
She's leading all three of them on, and she's gonna settle for one.
He's like, it's like Ryan Reynolds called Amy Smart out in the movie Just Friends. Like, you're being the biggest tease.
And what makes it even worse is that in the Sacred episode, which I promise we will get to, there's a moment where Lana kind of falls into Clark's arms again, and I'm like, "Oh Jesus H Christ! Like, are we doing this again?"
Make up your mind. Why are you doing this to us, writers?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I guarantee you, there was probably a poster made of Lana like falling into like Lex and Jason and Clark's arms.
I
like
bet they made that.
Season
I
4.
bet they made. And also, like before we get into the Sacred, like yeah, when we get there, but there's moments like they're more better when they're not together, when they're not in a relationship. But when they are in a relationship, I don't like it. It's stupid to me. It just doesn't work.
I just feel like this is like the biggest bitch problem I have with this. And I'm not saying she is. I'm saying the biggest bitch problem I have is why in the hell are we still on this love triangle? It's like we're on a fucking love. It's a triangle.
It's a square. It's actually a love square. It's a love square.
It was a triangle when it was Lex, Clark, and Lana. Now it's Lex, Clark, Jason, and Lana.
Exactly.
When there's one more person, then we can make it like an octagon.
Yeah, octagon.
But we do have to get on to crypto. But let's close the book on Recruit. Jacob, 1 to 10. What do you got?
I'm gonna give this like a 6 out of 10.
All right, Matt. What about you?
I'm gonna give this a 6.5. It's an okay episode, not its best, but it has its moments.
Watch, Ryan's gonna give it a 9. Watch.
I said I'm not going to go that far. I'm going to go 7, only because of the ending and the through line of Clark realizing.
Is it because of the Simple Plan song?
That had a little bit to do with it, yes. But
Ryan was like, the music won him over. Right, this whole episode, Ryan could see like the Phelan episode. And if it has a good song, I think like, you know what, that was not a bad.
If you have a good fucking 2000s pop culture soundtrack in Smallville, it's forgiven.
It could have been literally 20 minutes of Finn shaking his crotch in front of the camera going, yeah, you like that, Ryan, don't you? And Ryan goes, fuck you. And then it plays a Simple Plan plays, and then Ryan's like, you know what, that wasn't that bad though.
Like the only thing that could have fixed M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender, Simple Plan.
Well, at least the I'm not gonna lie, there are movies that are terrible, but then it has a great soundtrack, and I'll be like, you know what? It wasn't that bad.
It's like, yeah, it was bad, but fuck, the soundtrack slaps. Damn it.
I mean, the Suicide Squad movie, not the Suicide, but Suicide 2016. There are parts I like it, but the soundtrack is awesome.
It was awesome, but it was completely misplaced.
Another example, Tron Legacy. The story is not the greatest, but Daft Punk over-delivered on that.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was a better movie than when people say it is. Sure, that Jeff Bridges fucking de-aging was terrible, but overall the movie was actually so good.
Where are you now?
And I love the Daft Punk soundtrack. That one fucking killed it.
Absolutely. But Liza, I'm going 7. I thought the episode was rather rough, but the through line of the football chapter of Clark's life is now over. I thought that won me over. But let us move on now to the middle part. This is season 4, episode 14, called Crypto. And no, it's not the currency; it's the name of the dog. What should have been the name of the dog?
But it's not the crypto, the super dog that you think of. It's not the actual crypto.
It feels like they put the title just to fuck with us.
They did. They did. Even the promo too. They're like, oh my god, that's crypto. No, it's not crypto. The super dog.
It's fucking. Her name is Shelby. And you're like.
That's just more of a fucking like. That's just more of a nod to the Superman fans who love Crypto the Superdog.
But anyway.
Go on to this episode. Fuck.
Anyway, Crypto.
Wednesday.
How much is that? I kind of hit him.
You hit it with your car? Actually, that might be fun to have a dog around. I was thinking of calling him Crypto.
Fresh new Smallville on the WB Wednesday.
Two trained and powerful dogs rob Smallville Cooperative under the command of two career criminal brothers, Zach and Josh Greenfield. But one of them escapes and is hit by Lois Lane's car. She brings the wounded animal to the Kent farm, and Clark Kent finds the secret of the animal, which has superpowers, and becomes attached to it, while the criminals look for the animal for the next heist. Meanwhile, the mysterious relationship of Lana and the Teague's ancestors is disclosed a little more. So yeah, we got a dog episode for this one.
I wonder if this was the episode when they were fucking with the writers. If they said, do an episode where Clark turns into a dog, and then that's a joke. I wonder if this was the episode they were like, well, we can't make Clark turn into a dog. We're like, well, can we do an episode about a dog?
Well, I mean, Crypto is like the super dog, and I was like, man, they're going at this a little early, huh? It
Famous
turns out,
comic character.
no. They named the dog Shelby, like you mentioned, Jacob. I'm like, what were Chevelle, like freaking Charger and Challenger all taken? Like, what are we? You're naming a dog after a car.
Well, Lois named it Clarky, and then she told Clark, "You should change your name." And Clark's like,
Skipper.
Like 0 for 5. But Jacob, what did you think?
"This is probably my." You're not gonna lie. I thought last episode was my least favorite. This episode, I just did. I don't know why. I just don't like episodes with animals in it. So I was just like, I don't give a shit about this episode. Like, I will say the Lex stuff I love, but then I was like, I don't care about the dogs and all that stuff. Although I will say the episode, there's some issues at the beginning of the episode. Clark is sleeping on the couch, okay, and Lois literally ties the dog up. Lois already came inside by that point, and the dog was inside. So Clark is literally sleeping on the couch and doesn't hear Lois or the dog come in. He's Superman, and he doesn't hear a dog come in his house. He's Superman.
That's true.
I'm like, Superman, my ass. I was in a super sleep.
And that kryptonite will just knock you out, literally.
Most
like
of.
crime fighting.
But I'm not gonna lie, I like this episode a little bit more because I love fucking dogs. And also with the Golden Retriever, at the time that fucking episode aired, it was like weeks later, we actually had a Golden Retriever, a baby one, and we had that dog for over a decade. And
Wow.
I'm a sucker when it comes to dogs. I loved a little bit of I love the dynamic relationship development between Clark and this new dog named later Shelby. But I thought that was a cute moment. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed that episode. It's not that bad. I know it's not perfect. I know I had some problems with it too. Especially with these two con man robbing from fucking one place to another, was how they were able to get all the fucking documents from the fucking like Luthor Corp that they stole from like kryptonite steroids that they use on animals. That was stupid. I did not like that part.
The dogs with kryptonite. That was the thing that I was like, okay, one, that's kind of gross, and two, like, how is this even possible? I'm not a massive dog person in the slightest, but I'm at least of the mind of like, you don't hurt a pet, like you just don't. So
I know that's like animal abuse, and I don't want to prove that shit. Like I love, because I'm way more of a dog person. I love dogs.
I'm more of a cat person.
Oh, you're full of shit, Jake. I don't
actually do
I'm more of a cat. You're gonna go there. Bullshit.
I'm more of a cat person. Yeah, I'm more of a pussy man myself. I'm sorry. But like that Batman Returns joke.
You enjoy that?
Pussy I've been looking for.
You enjoy stroking the pussy late at night?
I mean, seriously, Batman Returns. I saw one joke one time on a meme, and it's like there's a woman holding a dog, and he goes, "I'm more of a pussy man myself." And then he just puts his hand on his wife. I'm just like,
someone needs to make the Spider-Man the Willem Dafoe meme of, I'm something of a pussy man myself.
I'm something of a pussy man
and
myself.
then him staring at Mary Jane, and then him just stare, and then include this meme of him staring at Mary Jane at Thanksgiving, where he says like, I'm something of a pussy man myself, and then just him staring at Kristen Dunst during the
the shot when he was giving that little creepy look, giving that creepy look to MJ.
I can see that scene in Spider-Man 1 being more creepy.
I can definitely see it too.
Her shaking his hand.
He brought a fruitcake, guys. Clearly we can trust him. But
oh my god, there's a movie just like a parody of Spider-Man called Superhero Movie.
Yeah. I did.
They do the Thanksgiving scene, and he goes, you got a cut. Remember when they're doing they have the cut, and he goes, he tells Drake Bell, you have a cut on your arm, and he goes, I met a girl on Craigslist, and then he says, and you have a cut on your lip, and then Drake Bell goes, I met a guy on Craigslist.
Oh boy!
He's like,
oh my god!
He's like, I have to go. I shit my pants. And then Drake Bell's like, and I gotta go. My crack pipe broke.
Let's abandon ship on that. But the dog, as soon as he gets to Kent Farm, it raises all kinds of ruckus. And there's been tons of movies like as soon as an animal shows up, it's just like all like hell breaks loose and like the table gets destroyed. I love the line from Annette O'Toole is like Clark did that when he was only 3. And I'm like, I need to see footage of that, please.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if he was 3 years old, he's about to like not control his own strength. And I think that that was interesting that she brought up like Clark. Remember when Clark did that one time? He accidentally broke the table.
All I can picture is like Bam Bam from the Flintstones. He's like bam, bam, bam.
But did you know that this dog, that golden retriever, is Bud the dog from Air Bud? If you fucking like watch through the credits, it says Bud the dog. That's actually Bud from Air Bud.
I will say I did like I like the scene with Lex and Jason's mother.
Yeah, I did. That was I just hated
why is she wearing a fur coat? Like literally that fur coat, she looked like Cruella DeVille with that fur coat on. And so I'm just like,
or from the woman, or like Meryl Streep from The Devil Wears Prada.
Fashion place, small talk fashion place, fur coat, in or out.
First one out. While out, yes.
Out. Sorry. Like you're being so obvious that you're such a villain. You are a villain. I don't need a description.
Where's our mom?
I don't need like an illustration. I don't need a goddamn illustration. We know that you're the
What are you gonna do? Walk in with a cigarette and go, darling, and then just like
darling,
and be like, I'm gonna sit in Lex's chair. And
she did come up with it as a Cruella vibe. She did from the 101 Dalmatian.
Just like I will say she is a good actress.
Oh, she's good.
I wish she would have just walked in without the fur coat. When she takes it off, because you can tell she walks in with the fur coat, takes it off, and I'm like, why the fuck did you even wear the fur coat then if you're gonna take it off?
I mean, they did show it was snowing outside, so maybe that has something to do with it.
And because that fireplace is blazing hot. Remember, the flame was fucking like high. Like imagine walking inside the mansion and there's a fireplace. It's hot. So yeah, there's heat. There's no heater.
I do like that. You know that when Lex makes the comment to Genevieve saying that you and my father should write a book. You and my father about writing a parenting book. Like that made me laugh so hard. Lex is like, write a book. Like, you know.
And there's a scene with Lionel where now he's giving Jason the map to the stones. And
that was a good scene too.
Yeah, that was a good scene. But also, what was his agenda? That was one that kept bothering me. It feels like he was not trying to pry into what Lex was doing, but it also he's giving Jason the map that leads to the stones. What is his angle? That kind of bothered me a little bit. And he knows that that Lex can't be trusted with Jason or Genevieve Teague of his mom.
Also, I like the line that Lex said where he says, "If I understood my father's sanity, I'd be a much happier man."
That was good.
That was good.
Like, I just thought that was really, and also the crypto saving Jonathan from the other dog. I thought that was a great scene.
Oh, that was good. He's very protective and very loyal to the Kent family. Like, don't go near them. I will tear you apart.
Also, the dog saves Clark too. Like, literally, the dog gets Clark out of there.
Oh yeah.
And then Clark saves the dog in return, so they're even.
I know. Also, the dog like literally was like. Apparently Clark understands dog because the dog barks to Clark, goes, "Dog farf," and Clark's like, "Oh my god, the other dog's in there." And I'm like, how the fuck do you know the dog is in there? Like literally Clark's like, "I gotta go." And then the dog's like, the dog literally, I was like, does he understand canines or something? The dog's like, Clark, hurry. Hey, he's in there.
He probably had a little bit of have a little hunch.
I mean, have they ever established that Kryptonians can understand dogs?
Well, no, I don't think he understands dogs. I think he just had like an idea what he was barking at, and probably moving his head towards near the fucking the fucking truck. Yeah, and he was moving his head, and it was like he kind of get the idea that he's still in there.
I did enjoy I did enjoy like him saving dog, like how they were gonna burn the dogs down, but then like the crypto jumped out, and then Clark's in the cave. Well, his fine Clark's just he stupidly goes in there, by the way, and then the kryptonite falls over. He's like, oh, instead of him trying to, I would be trying to crawl my ass out of the truck, going.
Well, he wanted to stay in there to like follow their whereabouts and where they're gonna ditch, because they know they're gonna ditch the truck, their getaway car, and that's when he's gonna have to like confront them at the time. I think that's why he stayed behind.
Which I mean, I will say, I will say, yeah, I mean that was pretty cool though. I thought that was fun that Clark gets to keep it, and then when he confronts Lex about the dog, then Lex finds out about the dog, saying the dog might have superpowers, and so Lex is now suspicious of the dog.
That he might be dangerous, and that those dogs need to be put down, because what he mentioned earlier, that those dogs were a little bit more dangerous when they use those kryptonite steroids, and they have super like incredible strength, and then they were all put down, and they fucking like decommission it. And like, hey, if this worked, then this dog can be dangerous. But no, he's not dangerous, because that kryptonite did not last long, because they had to take every dose for like, I don't know how long that thing lasts.
And now Lex is gonna have to open a file on the damn dog now.
But also, I love moments with Clark and Lois ripping on each other. They have little cute moments doing a little detective work.
Lois has been on this show half of a season, and she is like already in like my top 5 like favorite characters on this whole show, like by a lot.
Would you be mad if they just got rid of like Lana and Chloe and then just say, "Here's Lois"?
No.
You would be like, "Hey, I would be fine with that too," because I'm like, every character on the show is great except for Lana and Chloe.
Well,
And
Chloe got better. Well, Chloe got better in the second half of
Lana,
season.
it's just the only reason Lana exists right now is just because that way they can have a love triangle. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, Lana is just being dragged out through this stupid love drama with Clark and Lana. Chloe, I can deal with right now because she did get better in the second half of season 4, all the way through the series.
To be very fair, Chloe has been given more stuff to do, and she has become more tolerable for me. I think the closest I can compare it to is, none of you guys have probably seen The Big Bang Theory, but Howard Wolowitz. Like the first few seasons,
I like how I've seen The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, you have? Oh, I didn't know
he's
that.
the Jewish guy with the like shitty haircut and has that Howard.
Yeah, and the
He
mother
was just
that
a
we
creepy
don't
guy,
see.
and then he became like a a nice guy and a likable guy when he married Bernadette.
Exactly. Like that's the thing that I'm noticing with Chloe. Like not
He
as
became a
not
Howard Wolowitz.
kind of similar.
They kind of made the comic book nerd the creepy guy. They're like, oh, Howard's no longer a creeper. Now we got to make the comic book guy a creeper.
They did. He and Raj did spectral image the America's Next Top Model house. So definitely yes.
I will say though, I will say the one thing I do like, besides that is also, besides him saving Jonathan, I do like that the dog pulled the tractor and then Chloe tries to cover for Clark.
Yeah, I did like that too.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Also, what was the bad guys' plans? Well, they were planning to kill the family so they can kidnap the dog. Because why would they send the damn dogs, the damn black dog, to kill Jonathan?
Well, they're bank robbers, so their plan is to rob banks.
And they wanted to get that dog back.
I knew they wanted to get the dog back, but what are they planning? What was their plan? You're gonna go and kill Jonathan and then take the dog back?
So murder on top of your robbery. Nicely done.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, they're going to murder the dogs and burn the evidence.
A bunch of assholes for doing that.
Yeah, exactly. But unless
I'm sorry, if you try to burn those dogs, I have no sympathy with them.
They're cat people, that's why.
Like to the wood chipper for the both of you. But
it'd be funny if he had a cat in his hand where he was doing it. He's just rubbing the cat and going, yeah, burn him.
Excellent.
Yeah, burn.
But I think we can move on to Sacred. But ratings, Jacob, what do you got 1 to 10?
I just want to I'm thinking about something stupid, a dog. Yeah, before we go on the rating, I just want to say there's a movie called Monkey Bone with Brandon.
Oh, yes, I know what that is.
And there's a scene where the monkey sprays the nightmare fuel on the dog, and the dog has a dream that he's getting neutered by cats, and like a cat. It's a real It's a real cat, but with like a puppeteer body. And you see a cat like this with like clippers on the dog has a boner, and the cat's gonna cut the dog chunk off.
I don't remember that scene, but I remember the animated monkey going, "I wanna be loved by you," like some like
The
it
whole
hot.
movie is really fucked up, but it's really funny. And the ironic thing is, the Nightmare Before Christmas director made it.
Henry Selick, yes.
It's a really fucked up movie. I'm just like, I can't believe this movie got made. I can't believe Henry Selick agreed to make this movie.
Matt's, if I can read Matt's mind, he's saying, "What in the hell are these two talking about?"
Yeah,
you gotta
Monkey
watch
Bones.
Monkey Bone. It
I've
is so
never seen
fucking
Monkey
weird.
Bones.
It's got
It
Brendan
is
Fraser
weird.
with a soul patch in it.
Like, it's really weird. It's like, it's supposed. Imagine if Tim Burton and American Pie came together.
Yeah, that's about right.
Oh boy.
But Jacob, what's your rating?
I'm gonna give this one about, I would say, a 5 out of 10.
All right, Matt, what about you?
I liked it a lot more. I'm going to give it a 7.
I'm going to go 6. I didn't love this one. There were some good moments here, but it again is reserved for like Clark, Lex, and Lionel, and like them almost exclusively, and Lois also. It's like those four exclusively. The rest you can pretty much just chuck to the side. But let's close things out with talk about the episode we've been pretty much teasing about since the beginning. It is season 4, episode 15, called Sacred.
Hi, this is Tom Welling. You're watching Smallville on the WB Wednesday night.
They journey to a place where lies.
We had an agreement.
And in betrayal.
I can't trust her.
Smallville on the WB Wednesday.
When Dr. Virgil Swan dies, Clark Kent receives the octagonal disc through the mail. He goes to the Kawachi Caves, and inserting the disc in a stone, he hears Jor-El ordering him to find the 3 knowledge stones to protect Earth against destruction. Since the first, retrieved from Lex in Egypt in the season opener, is in Clark's possession, the other 2 must be found. Meanwhile, Lex and Jason are in Shanghai, China, trying to locate one of the stones. Lionel Luthor gives a copy of the map and an airplane to Lana Lang, and together with Clark, they travel to China and meet Lex and Jason. They are arrested and tortured in a temple by the oppressive authorities for information about the stone's whereabouts. When Lana is captured and also tortured, Isabel returns to protect Lana's body and to fight Clark for the stone's possession. So yeah, like Big Trouble Little Smallville, I guess. Jacob, what did you think?
Well, I mean, you pretty much covered the whole episode. So good night, everyone. But,
somebody save me.
But no, I will say, yeah, this episode, I don't like this episode. I mean, out of the 3, this is the one I like. I don't like any of these 3. Like, for instance, if next week there are 2 episodes I really like compared to this one. If this would have been the 3rd episode and out of the other 2, I would have never liked this episode. I'm just like saying, this is literally like, I like that they brought the witch back. I thought, because I loved her in a Spell. I thought it was a great episode. But then this one, it feels like they're trying to make a sequel. It'd be like, okay, you made a great episode the first time. Now you're trying to just carry on this, like, episode where it's like you don't really need a sequel to this episode. And on top of that, like, so you already got Lex and them in China and everything. And by the way, I like how they're in China. Like, I love when Lex and Jason go to China. He's like, I'm right behind you. And then they go. By the way, I'm like, how does your cell phone work? Because I'm not gonna lie, you're in 2004. Shouldn't you have, like, I mean, your cell phone company would be like, you would not have no bars. You'd have to go use a fucking landline, especially in China.
05. And it's like, you'd be like the Verizon guy. Can you hear me now? How about now? Can you hear me?
I mean,
now?
they do have. They might have
05.
Verizon. They might have Verizon.
I'll be fun. I wish they would have just had a payphone ring and Jason goes to answer it and he goes, "It's Lex," and then he says, "Turn around," and then Lex is on the other payphone. I thought that would have been funnier, but it would have been dumb probably. But still, I just don't believe that Jason. They went all the way to China with cell phones, and also, I like the fact that they tortured them. Like, they have a bond over getting tortured, essentially.
Yeah, but Lex arranged the torture on purpose.
And then
but then
he got
double crossed.
And then he gets tortured. I mean, what did you think about the torture scene, Ryan?
It was pretty intense. Like, when it was happening, I was like, Yeah, the WB said yes to this. Like it was just crazy
You
to
were
think
getting
about.
Casino Royale vibes, huh?
Well, nothing as extreme as that movie. If you know, you know. Let's just say I'll never look at a rope the same way ever again.
Ah!
You scratch my paw.
Why don't you tells him, why don't you scratch my? The last thing you're gonna do is scratch, die hitting my balls. I swear, yeah, that I still to this day, if I still today, if I see a rope, I just cover my nuts. It's like,
I mean, I don't blame you.
but yeah, this scene though, they're literally getting it wet with electricity and wet, and they're just going, oh, and I'm like, oh god, and he's like, just like they're both getting tortured, and I'm just like, I just imagine that episode would be very unhygienic.
Yeah, that doesn't that prison looks dirty. Like definitely COVID started there.
Well, it's not supposed to be a clean, sanitized place when it comes to torture.
I also, yeah, those, what else was it? Yeah, the fact that Lionel tells Lana, and then Clark finds Lana, and then they go basically, they both go on a private jet and go to China together, and I'm like, it feels like everybody had a storyline in this episode but Clark, because
No,
Clark
I
just tags
disagree.
along.
No, I actually don't agree to that because it has something to do with the stones that were meant for him that Jarrell mentioned earlier in the episode. So yeah, Clark had a bigger story in this. I thought this episode really pushed the main story further. And like, okay, now let's get to the important stuff in the season that we were supposed to do from the start.
If you were to take Clark out
It's
this
searching the
episode,
three stones and everything connect because that really was meant for Clark. That was meant for him.
but if you were to take Clark out this episode, everything would have played out the same way.
Not exactly. I wouldn't say that.
He did get knocked out by the like kryptonite high beams, I guess.
Yeah, and also when Isabel found the stone and then Clark got in the way of it, of trying preventing her from escaping, they go at it, but then she gets unpossessed. But the moment they touch that stone and got knocked unconscious, and then we know later in the episode that Jason took it the minute he walked right in. So I don't think if that fight had happened, Isabel would have gotten away with it scot free. She would have taken that stone with her without Jason and Lex getting in the way with it in the first place.
Oh, yeah, you're fair. That's fair. All right, you know what? I will give you that one. Okay?
It's like, when was I was like asking, like, when was the last time you watched this episode? I feel like
literally, I'm saying stuff I've seen in the episode.
Was it like recent or was it like years ago when you last watched that?
It was like 10 minutes ago. It was like an hour. But no, I was sitting there like this. Though. I was thinking, someone pointed something out to me that I did not point to someone out when I was watching the episode. Someone walked in the living room like, hey, why? I was like, because Clark, whenever Isabel finds the stone, and then Clark just super speeds and grabs it, and then he stands there and goes, got it. And she goes, why didn't Clark just go away with the stone? Why did he stand there and gloat with the stone? Like, I got it.
I literally said,
well, he couldn't have run off because that ship knocked them both out. It knocked them both out. Because I think if she would have touched that stone with her bare hands, because remember what happened last time when she touched that first stone that Clark had? It was not agreeing with her, and it fucking got it out of her hand.
Yeah, he grabs the stone though. He grabs the stone.
I think she. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to see. It's hard to spot that which one of them touched it first.
No, I like that was dumb because like he takes it out of her hand and like I got it, and it's like behind.
No, he didn't take it out of her hand. He just ripped it out of her pocket, and it fell to the ground.
That was after. That was after when she first when he got the tree, when she grabbed it out of the tree. And she's like,
"Oh yeah, no, yeah. You're right. You're totally right. Yeah, no, he could have just ran away. He could have just ran away and got away with it scot free. I agree with that. No, I forgot. Yeah, you're right about that one.
Like,
yeah,
Clark, my brother in Christ, you are faster than this woman. But
I think he's trying so hard to confront.
He's like, I got it.
But he knows. But he's got caught. He got a moment of weakness. He dropped guard because Lana is still possessed by the witch Isabel again.
I mean, literally, he's just like, got it, and then she goes. And he goes, I'm just like, well, that was on you, Clark. You really should have.
No, that was a stupid move. I agree. That was not the smart move. I agree to that one. I also did love the sword fight. I did enjoy that fight scene with Clark and Isabel when she enchanted that dagger and stabs him in the chest because magic can really hurt him, and that made sense. And that fight scene was pretty intense.
My brother asked me, why are they sword fighting? I said, because they couldn't afford visual effects anymore on this episode, so they're just like, sword fight now.
Either that or Miller and Goff have just discovered
And
Crouching
also,
Tiger,
Clark is more
Dragon.
powerful than Isabel. Isabel is just doing enchantment spells, and she needs to have a fair advantage.
I put in my notes, Lana basically becomes Neo from the Matrix in this episode.
She's Trinity. She is Trinity from the Matrix.
Because she literally gains powers and is able to do kind of martial arts and flies and everything.
Here's another thing that bugs me. Her outfit, the moment she gets out of the fucking torture chamber, where the hell did she get that outfit from? Out of nowhere.
Yeah, I
she
said
puts it right on. Like, what the fuck is that? How did that make any sense?
Yeah, I said the same thing. It was like, yeah, you just have been electrocuted for the past 30 seconds, and it was like you come out of like a maybe it's Maybelline like commercial like that. I'm like, what are we doing?
I do like that Lex suspects it's either his father or Jason's mother. I'm like, the sad thing is, that there are at least two people that would do this to you. That right there should make you be like, man, I need better people in my life, because either it's Jason's mother that's torturing me, or it's my father.
I think it's definitely Genevieve. That was definitely Genevieve. I guarantee
yeah,
you.
because
I don't think it was
doesn't have any
Lionel.
money right now, and Lex is the only one who can.
There's one person more powerful than you. Yeah, it was definitely Genevieve.
Everyone, even Ryan was like,
even when you brought up when Genevieve, that was definitely Genevieve who broke Lionel out of prison. Who bailed him out. That was pretty obvious. Like, you were right about that part.
She tortures her own son, by the way. She literally tortures her own son.
Yeah, she did.
So he's like, well, I gotta make it convincing. So make sure both of them you can just don't go kill them. Just make sure they know.
But also, Jason did not know that Lex was the one who arranged it to get something out of him for what he knows. But then when he was taken into the other room, then Lex got double cross. So he has Jason is in the dark.
He's like, well, I was gonna torture you, but then they beat me to the torch.
I was like, oh fuck.
Also, I thought that was stupid how Lana she just gets like literally zapped and becomes Isabella. I thought that was so stupid.
Well, to be fair, when she's getting zapped, because Isabel mentioned, like, you think I'm gonna let that happen to this body? Because she's protecting her vessel. And that's why, because if something happens and if it kills her, like, she's gonna have to intervene and take over. That would be the perfect time.
Okay. But what about the statue? It just randomly has kryptonite in it.
Well, I think because when the Kryptonians landed on Earth and then placed the stones, and I think it was probably like after the meteor shower where kryptonite came to Earth, and they probably used it as a decoration. They didn't know it was going to be preventing Kryptonians to enter. I mean, because you got to remember when they took those fragments, sometimes they use it for decoration, or scientists use it to like weaponize things, like Lex has been doing for a while now.
When she throws the knife at Clark, when they're just sword fight, and then she throws the blade at Clark.
Yeah, she throws the dagger
at Clark. He randomly just stands there like this, like, oh! I'm just like,
why didn't you move, idiot?
Like, you saw it, and he sees it coming. The worst.
Why didn't you just fucking Matrix that? Why didn't you just do the Matrix style?
Closer. Oh no! It's like that scene that Ryan was talking about in The Omen, where Ryan's like, "Get out of the way." Ryan, you know what I'm talking about, Ryan?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Describe it to Matt, the scene. Describe to Matt, because it's more funnier when you describe this.
So Matt, have you ever seen the movie The Omen?
No.
Well, I won't. This is like out of context, so it's not a spoiler. But there is a priest, and he is standing in the courtyard of his church, and he is convinced that the main child, Damien, is the devil. And goes to his father, played by Gregory Peck, is like, this child is of the devil, and Gregory Peck's like, I don't believe you, and storms off. So, priest is walking through the courtyard, right? He looks up. Up top there are statues that are holding spears. Next thing you know, statue throws a spear down at the priest. The priest looks up and goes, ah! As the spear is coming down, and goes, ah! And he's like coming down like, ah! And then stabs him through the chest. And I'm just, I had to cover this for my Scary Mania series last year. I'm like, priest, move out of the way Father, move.
Out of the way. It's like Austin Powers, where that security guard was still standing there was slowly driving right in front of him.
I mentioned it. He goes, that was in a comedy.
It's like,
that was
move,
in a
move,
comedy.
like, move.
The funniest part of that is when Ryan's like yelling, get out of the way, get out of the way. And then when he goes, why didn't you get out of the way?
I know, it's like every cliche of TV shows and movies where someone is about to get hit something and they see it coming, but they don't dodge out of the way.
It's like so stupid. It's like,
I don't know if it was
oh
poor.
my God.
I don't even know. I don't even know if it's a fucking poor editing choice that it just made it look like it's longer than it from his end.
Like in the words of the wise philosopher Ludacris, move, bitch, get out the way, get out the way. Bitch.
Oh my God, play that scene with him about to get stabbed with a blade, and then just play Ludacris on move, bitch, get out the way.
Bitch, get out the way, get out the way, bitch, get out the.
But yeah, I mean, but yeah, also it doesn't really explain how Lana goes back into being Lana and not Isabel.
I think when they got blasted,
she got knocked out or something. She's like,
that might be.
I forgot how. I was like, wait, didn't she?
The moment they got fucking knocked out, she snapped out of it, became back to Lana. That's my only guess. That's what.
Yeah, no one even cared. They're like, well, it's over. Fuck, I don't care anymore. Like,
well, yeah.
Like that's what we're all just like. Well, we don't give a fuck about Lana becoming Isabel. But yeah, how would you rate this, Ryan?
Well.
Oh wait! Before we go to ratings, did y'all like the scene with Lex and Lionel at the end, where Lionel was like, Lionel was like, you know, he goes like because Lionel gets Lex gets tortured, so he blames Lionel automatically and goes like what was the joke? He made a joke about it too, where he's
God, I can't remember.
If I find the clip, I will put it in post.
That scene was so funny whenever Lex is like tortured, and he's like, you know. He's like making a joke about getting tortured to Lionel, and he really suspects that Lionel was the one behind it. But then he's like, and Genevieve could have been it too. But I really like that whole part of it. I just don't think. I think it's stupid how that Jason.
Because he suspected that was going to be Lionel because he gave the map to Jason, and like, what the hell?
But yeah,
like just when you said you were a changed man, oh, you're full of shit, Lionel.
As much as I don't like being tortured, like, but yeah. That was pretty funny. If I had to give this episode a score, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. Or no, 7 out of 10. Sorry.
You're giving this one 7?
Yeah.
All right, Matt. What about you?
Yeah, I really enjoy this episode more and more every time I watch this, because I'm glad that we're moving forward to the main story and moving forward to where Clark was supposed to be doing, like searching the stones. Because the more he keeps ignoring it, the more if it gets in the wrong hands, it's the worse it will come. And Jarrell warned him, like, dude, if you keep ignoring it, the worst will come. You can't ignore my warnings. You need to find those 3 stones because they were meant for you. And you can't deny it. So I'm going to give this thing an 8.5 out of 10. I did like the Lex and Jason dynamic. I enjoy that too.
I'll go 7.5. I think there was some fluff, but I think the main stuff was very good. And so I'm glad we're finally focusing up and like everything, because let me just do a rough count here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 episodes left.
Damn, it's going by so quickly. And also the pacing for season 4 is much on point than the other previous seasons.
I will say this has been a much better paced season than previous ones. What did you all think of these 3 episodes? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to read what you have to say. And stay tuned for next week. We'll be covering season 4 episodes 16, 17, and 18, which are Lucy, Onyx, and Spirit, respectively.
Onyx is so good. Ryan, you're going to love Onyx. You were going to love Onyx.
I will agree that it's the best episode of the season.
I think all 3 of us are going to say Onyx is the best out of the 3. I think every single one of us are going to say. I think after that, it's going to get divisive, because I'm sure Ryan's going to hate one. I know which episode Matt's going to hate.
Which one? Guess what it is.
Here's the one you're going to hate.
Spirit?
I think that's your ranking. It's going to be Onyx, and then it's gonna be Lucy. Then it's gonna be
Lucy
Spirit.
is okay. It was all right.
I love Spirit, so
Spirit was so stupid.
I love it.
I won't go into it too much.
In the movie that Clark says that is so stupid,
but it was so funny. But I will admit that was pretty funny.
I'm like, don't spoil for Ryan. But
no, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say what he said.
I laugh my ass off every time I watch that episode. I'm like,
but we will
so
definitely get into it next week. But yeah, I'm for one that hated Spirit.
I
There's
love
good
Spirit.
moments, but the other stuff, like, oh my god, what the fuck did we get?
This episode is really comedic, Ryan. It's really Spirit is really comedic.
It is so fucking cheesy and comedic.
It has one really good scene at the end, though. The
I
ending
will,
episode
yeah,
is
I do
really
will admit
good.
there are some good moments that I liked, but the other stuff, why the hell?
That whole episode is basically a dark comedy.
Was it really necessary?
It's really fucking funny though. Like I laugh my ass off at Spirit every time I watch it because it's so dumb.
It has the Ashley Simpson song in it.
Yes, I'm not. Don't tell him what song. But
I
won't.
Yes, I won't tell him. I won't tell him what it is.
I love that song. But
well, in any rate, I look forward to watching Spirit for myself and seeing what all the hype is about there, and Onyx especially.
Oh,
Ryan's
Onyx,
gonna love Onyx. You're gonna love it. You're gonna say that is the best episode of the season.
But Jacob, Matt, it's a privilege to do this with you every week. Jacob, tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, they can find me at Cam Soda.
Or they can find you on OnlyFans.
No. But no, you can find me on 3D Movie Cinema and YouTube.com. Where I will have a review for Dune Part 1, and I just dropped a review for Black Flag. By the time this airs, Black Flag and Dune Part 1 review, and then this coming Friday, Dune Part 2 will be uploaded.
All right, and that link will be in the description.
Also, I have a collab video with Jacob Martin dropping that Sunday as well, which for Ghostbusters the original, on my road to Ghostbusters, where I will be joined by Jacob, Jason the Old Millennial, a mystery guest, and Ramsey.
Well, I'll be looking forward to that last one. But Jacob's channel is linked in the description. Let's get him to 200 subscribers. He is so close.
I will have a special video drop when I reach 200. A special video will drop, and there's gonna be some shit that you're gonna like. Oh, I gotta see where he's going next. Ryan knows what I'm going next with it, and Ryan's like, I hope you get to 500. I hope you get to 1,000 because I can't wait. I want to see. There's one that Ryan's like, I want to see that happen.
Yeah, Jacob's giving me a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, and I can't stress it enough. Go subscribe to him. But Matt, your link tree is in the description as always. You talked about it, I believe, before we went on the air, but you do have a Dune Part 2 review in the works. By the time this goes up, that review will be up, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm planning on recording very soon, and by the time you watch this video, it will already be up on my YouTube channel. And I'm also planning on recording the Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action. So yeah, keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, the Matt's link tree for all of his socials will be in the description. Go give him a subscribe and a follow there. As for this channel, the road to Godzilla X Kong continues. We are firmly in the Millennium series, which is that weird little era between the modern era and the Heisei era, the one that Toho saw the Emmerich Godzilla one, was like, yeah, give us back our property. We're gonna show you how it's done like adults here. But on Monday, my review for Godzilla Tokyo SOS will drop. Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah Giant Monsters All Out Attack will be Monday. Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla will be Wednesday. And Saturday will be Godzilla Tokyo SOS. Next week on the road, Jacob will be joining me to review the 2005 King Kong movie directed by Peter Jackson. And Matt will be joining me in a couple weeks to review Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. So be on the lookout for that. And then the 1999 project will be this coming Friday as well. The movies I'll be covering for that week will be, unfortunately, Baby Geniuses, The Corruptor, The Deep End of the Ocean, The Rage Carrie 2, which I'm actually revisiting, and Wing Commander, starring Freddie Prinze Jr. So March is not off to a hot start, but see me in pain if you want to. But for Matt Wyatt, for Jacob Collins, for Truth, for Justice, for the American Way, my name is Ryan Cam. See you in the next one. Y'all take care.